Welcome to my three-part audio documentary series looking into the deaths of black people in the UK who have been found in rivers, lakes and on beaches across the number of years stemming from 2001 to 2026. Although these deaths have been investigated and confirmed as accidental drowning, there has been a growing online presence of concern in the black community as to whether something sinister is actually going on. After hearing of the recent deaths of the three women found on Brighton Beach recently, I felt a need to look into this further, and I have questions that have already been asked as to whether black people are actually being murdered, or is this just a safety issue amongst the black community caused by police failings to take immediate action when black people are reported missing? In an article called Decomposition in Bodies Recovered from Water by James Caruso, stated that on the other hand, post-mortem changes alter the appearance of the body, making wounds and other evidence of the body interaction with the environment more difficult to interpret or even recognize. Further on, it is said that post-mortem changes can assist or hinder a death investigation. Later on in this series, you will notice a pattern of the victims' bodies not being found till weeks later after they are first reported missing, which can be assumed to have had an increased impact on the post-mortem changes that had already occurred, as well as evidently shown in one case initially difficult to obtain fingerprints and identifying the victims sooner. In another article presented by the missingpersons.org, it is explained that cold and wet environments such as the ocean cause fat tissue to turn into a waxy substance in less than 40 days. Looking at a statistic from a 2023 article posted by UK charity Missing People, it was stated that black children and adults are disproportionately represented in missing reports to the police. Black people make up 4% of the population in England and Wales, but 14% of missing incidents. Research published by the Missing People and another charity called Listener stated that black children and adults are also more likely to be missing for longer than white people, less likely to be found by police, and less likely to be identified as a risk due to mental health issues, sexual and criminal exploitation. This suggests there is a bias or discrimination in response when black people go missing and that they may be at a high risk but getting less support. Part 1 of the series, I'll be looking into 5 cases of women, including one ongoing case. Case 1. Blessing Olusegun. Blessing Olusegun was a 21-year-old business student from Thamesmead, South East London. Blessing was working as a carer on a placement based in East Sussex. She was only 1 week into her placement when she was found dead on Bexhill-on-Sea Beach near Galley Hill, East Sussex, on the morning of September the 18th, 2020. Several newspaper reports stated that around 1 a.m, Blessing had been on the phone with her boyfriend and friend as she decided to take a walk on the beach. Blessing had asked them to stay on the phone. At 1:24, Blessing texted her mum, "I love you," and sent her bank info as her mother was due to use her card that day. Her body was then found a few hours later at 6:20 a.m. with her phone and slippers discovered a couple of meters away from her. In a BBC newspaper report, Blessing's mother confirmed at an inquest that her daughter could not swim and believed that she would not have intentionally gone into the sea. Blessing's mental health was also in a better place. A post-mortem examination concluded that the cause of her death was drowning and no third party was involved. The police believed that it was either a death on suicide or an accident. Blessing's family believed that not enough was done to investigate Blessing's death and believed that there may have been an accident or third party involved. At that time, they'd also set up a petition that was signed by 31,000 members of the public for the police to investigate further, also demanding justice for Blessing and that her case was not investigated properly because of her ethnicity, which was then later refuted by the police. Case 2. Kayon Williams. Kayon Williams was a 24-year-old TikTok blogger from Newham, East London. It was reported that Kayon was celebrating Pride weekend with a group of her friends on a night out at Oxford Circus Marketplace. She was also last seen at that location at 3:40 on Saturday the 2nd of July 2022. Her body was then recovered 3 days later in the evening as she was found in the River Thames between Waterloo and Blackfriars Bridge, which was 33 miles away from her last sighting. Case 3. Taiwo Balugun. Taiwo Balugun was a 53-year-old mother from Crayford Bexley, southeast London. It was reported that the last sightings of Taiwo was on the 1st of December 2022 at a corner shop on Crayford Road. Taiwo was not found till more than 3 weeks later at a lake near Blue Water Shopping Centre based in Greenleaf, Kent, at around 7:54 p.m. Again, it was stated by multiple news sources that Taiwo had a history of mental health issues after the loss of her daughter from an illness back in 2007. This death occurred 5 months later after Kayon Williams. Taiwo also lived only a few miles away from the area that Blessing Olusegun was from. Case 4. Samaria Ayanle. Out of all the other cases, there is limited personal information regarding Samaria and which area in London she lived. Samaria was a first-year university student at the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. She was last seen leaving her student accommodation near Marble Arch, central London. Samaria's body was then found at approximately 8:19 a.m. that morning. She was spotted on the north foreshore of the River Thames near Putney Pier, Wandsworth, on Thursday the 22nd of February 2024. No personal identification was found on Samaria, so she was unidentifiable to the police at the time. Despite being found on the 22nd of February, it was not until 2 weeks later university staff reported Samaria missing to the Metropolitan Police. During the time the police were trying to identify Samaria, fingerprint tests that were taken from her came back negative, which reflects the critical period from when a body is in water, as discussed earlier. It was not until the 13th of March 2024 that police had linked the unknown body to the missing report of Samaria given to them prior. There was a lot of backlash regarding the process of Samaria being found. Samaria's friends stated through social media that there was a slow response from the university and then the police when Samaria was first reported missing by them. It was even stated that university staff were rude and did not take the concerns of their friends seriously. Even further, Samaria's friends report that there was some friction between themselves and Samaria's family, also lack of communication in helping finding her. As to the personal details of that matter is unknown. Case 5. Edna Mmbali Umboka. Edna Mmbali Umboka was a 31-year-old Kenyan student pursuing a master's degree at York St John University, London campus, which was situated around 30 minutes away from Samaria Ayanle's University. Edna was reported to have gone for a walk when she went missing on February the 1st, 2026. Edna was living with her boyfriend at the time. She was then found in Waysbridge River in Berkshire on Sunday the 8th of March 2026, 2 weeks after she had been reported missing. The investigation and coroner's report into Edna's death is still ongoing. Before I proceed on to part 2, looking at the cases of children, I just want to inform about Kelechi Okafor, who is doing current works based on these subject matters that we are assessing. Kelechi Okafor is a Nigerian-born Londoner. She is a writer, presenter, social commentator and actress. Across her social media platforms, she forces her audience into critically thinking about how we view race, oppression and femininity. Kelechi has also done many advocating and campaigning for a number of years, including regarding current affairs of the concerns with black people being found in rivers, lakes and seas. In response to this, Kelechi is looking into how she can set about an independent commission report investigating into these deaths. The process of this is ongoing, and some members of the black community have suggested that we should all financially contribute to starting our own private investigation,